So did we just break all-time highs? I mean, BTC on Bybit is showing certain figures, on Binance is showing something else. But anyway, the market is looking hot. We got Ethereum pumping. Sol has just started waking up as well. And today we got to look at some of these ETH tokens that are moving. I've also got ICP for you. I've got Lido, I've got RUNE, I've got Rocket Pool, and I've got 3 AI tokens that could be of interest to you, with 𝗬𝗪 looking like it wants to break some all-time highs again. So we got so much to talk about here, and we're at all-time highs. So here's the bull, and let's get cracking. I really need to know how everyone's feeling. It's almost like euphoria here. I mean, we didn't think we'd see this day. 18 months ago, we were crying. We were looking at BTC at 20K, 25, dreaming of things. And here we are. BTC 69K on Binance. It's broken 69K on Bybit. I mean, what a time to be alive. And did we ever think these guys weren't going to pump BTC after this ETF? I think it was obvious, wasn't it? They were never going to let their old men make a loss at their first attempt at an ETF. So it was always on, looking in hindsight, what the game plan was. How's everybody in the chats? How's everybody feeling? Danish says it's rejected. I would expect it to reject on its first crack. I think that's standard practice here, that it rejects at a major level like all-time highs. So nothing to really be too concerned about. We're watching dominance as well. That seems to be moving down. I've got my eyes on ETH. ETH is holding so far. Solana's holding, and things are looking okay out there. So this might be a dip for buying. We're going to look for some entries today for you guys as well on some of these tokens. I've got DJ and Dave. I pulled him out of his cage as well from the Sniper Club. He's hiding here. He's ready. He's getting fired up, and he's got a couple of banger trades. He's on fire at the moment in the Sniper Club. So he's going to tell us what he's been up to and what setups he has for us. But let's get... Oh, I see Leon's back. Leon, it's good to have you back. I haven't seen you in the chats in a while. Nice, guys. We've got 𝗕𝗢𝗘𝗫𝗫 saying Sol breaking 140. I've got an interesting bit of news on a sell wall for Solana at 140. So we're going to see if that is going to hold or whatever their story is, but we're going to talk about it shortly. But let's get into the juice. Let's get into the important things right now. And what have we got? Bybit has just printed 69,387.2, and like quite a big rejection here. I think it's fair call to say we were going to get a rejection, but anyway, it's given us a marker. We've seen dominance pull down nicely. We've got these alts holding some interesting levels. So what are we going to watch now for BTC? What are our key levels? Well, supports, I've mapped out some nice supports for you guys. We can look at where pullbacks potentially for buying here. So our first hot zone, you can see they've tested it once. It was resistance previously. Now they've tested it as support today. 64,890. I'm loving this area. 64,890. It's a 236 fib pool. It's our most bullish pool when things are really pumping. You pull out that 236, you pull out that 382, and those normally give you some decent reactions when things are super bullish. So that's a big area for us today. We want to watch, call it 64,900. Watch that zone. Then a 382. It's kind of messing around a little bit with these horizontals here, but an area that's notable, 62,200. Okay, so we're happy with that. Very happy with that. Happy with that. Less happy with a 618 bounce, but it will still be good. We're just going to feel some alt pain along the way. So 57,600 is the lowest level that I want to see to basically still stay alive and not feel absolutely obliterated if we are trading altcoins at the moment. So best level to watch, guys, this 236 fib. Eyes on that. That's going to give us the best results on some of these altcoins and, all-time highs. Let's keep our eyes on this next level, 69,387. We know what needs to happen now. We need to pierce that properly. We need to just form some support there, and then we're going to send it. And the sky's the limit. We're talking price discovery. We're going to be pulling out the 1.618 fib, the 2.618 fib. We're going to be dreaming again, imagining that we're living on an island, drinking cocktails and all sorts of things while BTC moves up to that 2.618 fib. So we can play that game when the time is right. Let's just see what's going on here in the news. And I thought this was beautiful. BTC is about to take over silver as the 8th biggest asset at the moment. So we are pushing there. We are 1.326 trillion. We are just around the corner from silver. So we're about to smash that. I mean, how's the uncles and the grandpas going to handle that when you tell them at the dinner table that BTC has now got a bigger market cap than silver? They're going to fall out of their chairs. Anyway, so just remember that nice little bit of information. And Coinbase, remember, we've been tracking the Coinbase app on the App Store, on the Apple App Store, trying to decide, you know, are we in alt season yet? And I think about a week ago, we were at 280, and we are now in the top 100. So it's telling us, obviously, I mean, as if the meme coin pump wasn't enough, the fact that this Coinbase app is now top 100, I think that's information enough for us that retail is here. And we're gonna make this one count, aren't we? I mean, we've been grinding it out in this bear market, waiting for retail to come back, and they finally come back. And let's make this work. So here's BTC on the weekly chart that we're looking at, looking so good here. You can see this is a major area, and we know major weekly areas, they give us major problems. They give us major rejections. It's very rare that you would blow through a major weekly area out the gate. So always, when you hit these areas on all your tokens, altcoins as well, always expect some kind of rejection in these zones. And it's really the pullback levels that you want to be watching very closely. But nice little start. And you can see it's pinged it to the dollar on this Bitcoin tether. So it's BTC USDT on Binance. Both of these highs were exactly 69,000. I mean, they hit it to the absolute dollar. You've got to love these guys. I mean, it's such perfection. Okay. Let's look at dominance. While this has all been happening, and while we've been having, you know, a little BTC rejection, you've always got to make sure you're watching this dominance. And this is dominance on the weekly, and it's rejecting for us. And what does that tell us as altcoin traders and the new guys? Here, when we get a dominance rejection, that means these altcoins are feeling less pain, or these altcoins are pumping harder. It's the problem is when dominance is pumping and BTC is dumping, that we rarely feel the burn on these altcoins. So when we do get a BTC pullback, always keep one eye on dominance. And if it's rejecting like that, it's telling you a story. It's telling you that some of these altcoins are actually, you know, although they might be falling over a little bit, they will be holding their specific and relative level. So always keep one eye on dominance. And I'm liking this at the moment, a nice dominance push to the downside. We're going to love that. That's going to unlock Sol. It's going to unlock ETH and Friends and all of these other tokens. And I see in the comments here, Kradisky says Sol is ripping. So we need to just check in on Sol quickly here. I've got it prepped and ready for you guys, and I've got some targets. Ferdy says INJ is struggling. INJ will come when it's ready. Thomas is here in the chats. Thomas made this bull, and I think we need to hit it. How are you feeling there, Ray? How are you, boys? Shall we crack the whip?
Oh, shit.
I'm feeling quite nice. It's nice, isn't it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk shorts and all these things. Dave and I caught the whiff short. Ray, did you catch any specific special shorts here? Okay,
sure.
well, we're going to talk just now. I want to go through some of these tokens, and then I want to hear what you guys are getting involved in. Okay, let's. My tile was very clear. My tile said ETH and Friends. Okay, it's time for this ETH party again. I know Uncle Run was talking about it as well. And you know, when we see strength like this on ETH, we need to just look at a couple of ETH tokens just to keep our eye on them, because when we get strength like this, it tells us where we need to be. It's a sign for us. So ETH traders, this is your weekly chart on ETH. And yesterday I was telling you the gates to Valhalla are unlocked at this 3,550 level, and we've absolutely smashed it. And what does that tell us now as ETH traders? It tells us we have such a nice strong weekly support level that we can start looking for buyers on any pullbacks. And that weekly support level for us now is 3,500. So those of you that are in ETH positions from way lower down, if you get a pullback, that is your first area that you're going to look to add to your position. And if you are newly trading ETH, that is going to be an area of interest for you as support. So if you start losing that 3.5, it could indicate that we're going to see a little bit lower, a little bit darker. We might see, say, 3.2 or somewhere around those levels. But right now, we've got a nice weekly level for ETH. And it's super exciting because the upside here is approximately 35%. And we're looking for this move now. And again, it might not happen in a straight line. We might just be looking at a little bit of chop as we make our way higher. But as long as that support's holding for us, this 3.5 region, then I think no reason why ETH isn't just going to churn higher and punch this 4.5K, 4.7 anywhere in this region. And with that, it's going to pull up a lot of its buddies. And, you know, one of the friends we want to look at here is optimism. We know this is a nice ETH proxy play, nice little player when the ETH is moving and there's ETH strength. That's where we need to look. And my first one that I want to show you guys today, and it's already had a very strong bounce. We had that pullback, and I was getting quite excited. I was going to give you guys an entry, tell you guys we're ready to rip here, and we dripped all the way into our horizontal support here at the 382 fib and the horizontal. So main support you're going to watch now for optimism. If you are bullish on ETH and friends, optimism right now 4.16. This is your main support region. Then your next one is our super bullish 236 fib, and that is 4.3. So both of these are potential support regions and exit zones if you want to be long optimism. If you want to take advantage of a possible narrative here and a move in these tokens, this is how you are viewing things. Your first upside target is going to be a 1618 fib. That's around about 5.3 that you're looking at, and that's about a 24% play there for optimism. But obviously now you need to pay attention to this candle. We've had a big dip down, and now we've had quite an aggressive move up. So just expect them to possibly come back and just put you under a little bit of pressure here. But your markers that you need to pay attention to, 4.3, 4.15, both of these are now decent areas of support for optimism that you can use for potential buys. If we start losing these areas, things are dark out there, things are looking bad, and then we're going to be tracking lower. So right now, bullish traders, this is what we're looking at. Those are your levels on optimism. Then I was looking at Lido, another ETH play, Lido and Rocket Pool. And they both staking narratives on ETH, and you'd expect a little bit of action here on both of these tokens if ETH is playing out for us like we wanted to. And the numbers on Lido are actually looking good. I messaged Rodolfo. He's one of the researchers that I work with, and I said to him, "Why is Lido so shit?" And he said he doesn't know. He said it's not making sense to him. The numbers are looking good, and Lido is sitting in our entry box for a potential move here. So this is a trade that we dropped earlier today in Sniper Club, and the instruction on this trade was buy any dips into this entry box. So Lido at the moment is a short-term trade and a long-term trade potentially brewing here. So what you can do for Lido traders, if you are interested in a Lido move on ETH strength and things like that, you've got a nice little entry box here, and we've got a nice little low now that has been marked for us with this current wick and that pullback that they gave us. So if you are interested in a Lido play, this is the 4-hour chart. Entries that you can look at, you can start laddering in 3.43, anything down to around about 3.37 are decent entry zones that you can look at for Lido. And then I've marked out a nice little upside here for you guys of roughly 46%. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen quickly. It could take time. They could flush us out before that happens. So that's why we always have multiple TP zones. And the first TP, in fact, the first area I would say is you want to take out this previous wick, which is about a 10% move you're looking at. So that's about 3.75. Then I've got a nice little juicy zone, a little higher, 16% play. That's 3.9 that you're looking at. And then if we're still cooking, we can take out our upside position. Now, I also used a little bit of easy algo in this one. And I just want to show you how that came into play here. So those of you that watched last week, we absolutely smashed a couple of these easy algo trades, except the SUI that I took on WEEX, which is our new sponsored exchange. And I got stopped out on that SUI trade, even though the numbers were telling us on Easy Algo that things were looking good. But then we had movers like 10,000 Rats, we had ICP, we had Maker, we had a lot of these others just ripping off these monthly pivots and these weekly pivots. And I'm going to talk to you about ICP because that was also a nice little banger here. And what I'm looking at here on Easy Algo at the moment is we've just reclaimed this weekly pivot. So what we can see here, we can see the monthly pivot has been reclaimed and held now on that pullback, and we've reclaimed the weekly pivot in yellow, and that's telling us that as long as we are above this monthly pivot, we should be okay for any longs here on Lido. So eyes on this right now, and I've entered this trade using WEEX. So round number 2, here's my current trade, here's Lido. I've entered the trade. You can see I've put my stop just below the candle wick now that we got. So I just moved my stop under that wick. So if they're going to come and push us lower than that while the show is on, then we're going to get stopped out below that wick. But what I would suggest is if you have screen time available for yourself, stare at, watch the candles and look for a candle close under that wick, because sometimes they want to send you down and just put you under pressure one more time. So if the candle closes under that and you are available to watch the trade, then you can wait for that candle close before cutting. Sometimes they sweat you out and then they just push it back up. So remember, WEEX traders, there is a link in the description. They've got a special offer for you guys right now, especially for you guys. And the offer is as follows. They've got trade protection for you guys. Oh, I see they haven't put it. Oh, there it is. They've got trade protection for you guys up to $300 for your first trade. So basically you can get wrecked, and up to $300 they're going to protect your losses for you. And then they've got sign up bonuses, and some of the tiers are up to 10% sign up bonuses for signing up to WEEX. And it's also KYC friendly, so give it a go. It's trading very similarly to a lot of our other exchanges, so give it a test and see how you go. Hopefully now I can break my duck, because I got whacked on that SUI trade that I took on Friday, so we need to make some of that back here. So maybe Lido is going to be the play for us, so let's see how that goes. Then I've got another ETH banger here, Rocket Pool. Okay, another staking narrative for you guys that could be of interest. So you can see this one is waking up. Lido has been very quiet, and Rocket Pool here on the daily is looking so good, and it's pushing into this nice little horizontal, and we are now starting to break it. So what we're looking for as traders, we just want to see the support hold. So we got a nice little area now, 33.3, that we can keep our eyes on for this Rocket Pool if we are chasing bigger things. And I think there's a potential move coming here to the upside of approximately 17% that they can give us here on Rocket Pool, but that is phase one. If we start cracking some of these highs here, we're going to just go level by level. So if we do blow this region, we're going to play this game again. We're going to be looking at the same scenario here, and we're looking at the next move higher up. So right now, we're just looking for a level by level play here on Rocket Pool. So nice little ETH narrative, ETH strength, where you're looking, Lido, Rocket Pool, Optimism, Arbitrum. You can look at a lot of these other guys. So just grab your favorites. Even Matic would fall into that category. Okay, let's see who else is here in the chats and how is everybody feeling. I see there's 𝗕𝗄𝗄 fans here. They're still shouting 𝗕𝗄𝗄. Hunt says he needs the chart. I mean, I don't want to tell you how much some of these guys made from these 𝗕𝗄𝗄 trades. I mean, these things went 50x, 20x, whatever x. And no, it was absolute pain. If you weren't sitting in this 𝗕𝗄𝗄, it's pure pain. Yeah, let's see what else. We got questions on WIF. So Dave and I caught this WIF short. I'm going to show you some areas of interest here where we could get a bounce. And for those of you in the WIF short, you can TP and things like that. So we're going to take a look at it now. There's good questions from Guido saying AVAX is back. I think everything's going to be back here with this current BTC situation. Let's just see what we're doing. Yeah, BTC is still flat. Let's just look at this dominance. Dominance is still pushing down. That's good. And let's see ETH. So ETH is hanging out. ETH is chilling. Right. So let's look at our next one. The next one I've got for you guys is a RUNE trade. Again, this was a BTC strength play that we were looking at today, and sitting now in the entry box. So we gave the signal earlier in Sniper Club, and it gave a nice little move. It was very cool. And now we've got the first pullback that we were looking for. So often in a situation like this, when you're looking for these longs, you do get that initial pump, and then you get a little pullback into the box, and it puts you under pressure again. So here's RUNE back in our entry zone. For those of you interested in RUNE, these are areas of interest for us that we're looking at. Anything from about 5.76 down to around about 5.62 could be a nice little play here on RUNE, and a very clean little exit. There's a 3% risk here if your average entry is sort of in the middle of the box. So if you buy these dips lower down, nice little clean exit, 3%, and you're looking for a candle close under 5.52. So if the market turns south and they're going to bleed us out, then you don't particularly want to be sitting in some bleeding positions, especially the leverage traders out there. So you want to just trim them and then watch for your next support and your next level. Remember, there's always another trade. If a trade fails, by the time we wake up tomorrow, there's another setup coming. So again, there's always a trade. Don't feel you need to FOMO into anything. There's always a setup coming for you guys daily, and the crypto market never sleeps. So what am I looking at here for RUNE? Upside potentially on the 4-hour chart, 28% is the main upside, and the initial one is around about a 10% move we're looking at. But I did want to show you guys something very cool with RUNE on the weekly that was looking quite sexy. And if this thing does wake up, I think we're going to have a little bit more fun. So here's the weekly play. Here's the bigger picture RUNE play for bigger picture traders, guys that don't mind hodling and things like that. This is a nice little spot setup on RUNE that you can watch. And if the policy is up, over the next 12 months, if that is your bias. Remember, along the way, if we're trading weekly charts and things like that, along the way we get these pullbacks, we get these 20% flush outs, we get these pumps, we get these dumps, we get all these things. But the main areas you need to watch for RUNE, if you want to take a spot position and to play a long-term play on RUNE, and if you are looking for a nice move on RUNE of about 100%, you want to watch key areas. You want to watch big areas where RUNE could potentially pull back to without stopping you out and making you feel the burn. So big areas that you want to watch for RUNE on a weekly chart, 5.4, that's a big zone. And then a little bit lower down, I'm really liking this 4.7 region. So both of these are big areas. They offer big support zones. They offer potential buy zones for you on any pullbacks for RUNE. And this could be a journey. This could take a few months. For those of you that traded ZIL with me, you will know we are now sitting in March, and I opened that ZIL trade in the end of November. So we are 3 months in on that ZIL trade, and it took ages to work, including trying to sweat us out there. So some of these require a lot of patience, and you need to just understand where your big levels are, where your big supports. And if you're going to play that game, those become buy zones, and things become a little bit of an easier ride when you understand your main levels and things like that. If you're just randomly buying things and selling things without understanding where they could potentially bounce, sometimes it can play against you. So try and identify some of these strong areas. Let's look at the ZIL, because here's a prime example. So this is ZIL on the weekly. I'm just giving you an update because we have now got to our second potential entry area, and this is how long this ZIL trade took. We entered it roughly this must have been early December. So we've printed so many candles since then, and it's finally pushed up. But ZIL traders, if you are still in ZIL, areas of support you're looking at, and potential entries for ZIL, if you do find support, you could look for buys here on ZIL. 0.032, that is an area. And then your next zone of interest for ZIL, 0.0295. Both of these are potentially good zones that can then take you up to the final finish line for the ZIL trade, which is going to be 0.048. So there's still some moves coming. And remember, these tokens, they'll sit quietly for weeks, for months, and then out of nowhere, they're going to start moving. So sometimes just a little bit of patience. And it's very difficult as a trader when you watch all these other tokens pumping and you sitting in yours and your bags are doing nothing. And then you get that FOMO and you want to move it out and you want to start looking at other tokens, and then you sell yours. And the minute you sell yours, it pumps. It happens all the time. So, that's why if you've got a token that you have conviction about and you think it's going to move, just understand your big zones and be patient, because we know at some point all of these tokens are going to start moving. So just show a little bit of patience, just hang in there, and your bags will definitely have their turn along the way. Ilionix says, was theta covered yet? Not yet. Maybe we can get a quick theta breakdown there. Dave's in the back. Dave, will you get a theta ready there for us?
Sure thing.
While I crack on, because I've got 5 million charts here. Okay, we're gonna get DJ and Dave to look at some theta for you guys. Right, let's go through. Let's just make sure where we are here. Okay, the next one I've got for you, another ETH narrative play, is ENS. Okay, and it's just had a monster pullback now. While the market melted down, we had a nice big move down on ENS, but this might be presenting us with a potential buy zone. So the move I'm looking at here for ENS, roughly 37%. It's looking quite good. That's going to be a move to take out this massive weekly candle here, and that doesn't have much floating around. So I'd like to see this candle get eliminated quite quickly. So I'm liking the idea of ENS on the weekly. Where you're going to buy it if this thing's going to move? Well, number one, you want to try and identify your next levels of support and identify some wicks. And on these weekly candles, you can see we've got a nice little juicy zone just a little bit lower down. So anything around 24.4 to about 24.9 is a nice secondary weekly support zone for ENS. So what you want to see here is something along these lines. If it does dip, you're looking for buyers into the zone here. You can load up in that weekly, and then we are looking for that move up. And by the time it pushes down there, we're looking at roughly 40% potential play. And then it's an easy exit for ENS, because if it starts losing these weekly levels, then you can start cutting your position. So just understand where your big zones are, your big levels are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 touches on weekly candles in that zone. So that tells us we should have a little bit of strength there in that area on any pullbacks. Okay, let's see. 𝗬𝗓𝗓 says, OP was a good entry. Hopefully you got that. 𝗬𝗓𝗓, my charts are in the Sniper Club every day. So I'm going to tell you guys more about the Sniper Club shortly when I bring Dave out of his cage. But if you're interested, these charts that you see on my show daily, I put in the Sniper Club. It's my watch list. I update them every single day from 4-hour time frames, sometimes weekly, and all these things. And I give you these key areas. I give you these levels that I'm watching, and it paints a nice little picture for you guys as to where you can TP, where you can enter, and all these types of things on these tokens. And it's very handy when there's sell-offs and things like that, so you can understand your levels and you can understand where you are buying. And Dave will actually tell you a story that he used these charts to win the Bitget competition, and I'll let him tell you guys a little bit more about that. And we've now added him to the stable, so you're getting setups and all these things from Dave as well in the Sniper Club. I'm getting a little bit lost here. I'm talking so much. I'm getting a bit distracted. I want to see where all my people are. Okay, let's see who else is hanging out here. Yanko's here. He says, yabba dabba do. I'm not sure what's going on there. Bossarama says, say, please. Now, Dave and I both have a say setup that we are busy debating at the moment. So let's jump into say, and let's see if we can start talking about it. Yes, say. Okay, let's pull up Dave here. Okay, let's pull up Dave. Dave, meet everyone. Everyone meet Dave.
What's going on, everybody?
So, guys, this is Dave. Okay, this is DGen Dave. You can follow him on Twitter, DGen David D. And he won the Bitget competition. He did sniper school. He did. Just tell your very short version. What did you do? Tell us your story.
Yeah, no, I've been trading for a long time, since 2017. Been through the groups, been through just everything you can think of. And then, crazy story, I almost gave up on leverage trading. Thought it wasn't for me, but saw Sniper School, saw that it was free, essentially, to get involved. Took the course and really just applied a lot of different things that Sheldon taught, and just a lot of things that I should have been doing from a long time ago. And one of the most attractive things that I found was not only was it free to get into the Sniper School, but it gave me access to all of these charts, and I had never seen anything like it. And whenever I decided to get going in my journey, I was able to do very, very well, and then got into the Bitget competition. Didn't really think anything of it. And it was because of the charts and the levels. And it was funny because when I went to Miami to meet Banter, ultimately it was just to let them know, hey, I'm the guy that's in the competition. But I met Dylan and I was like, dude, it's the charts, man. And he was like, dude, I can't believe anybody's using my charts. I was actually going to stop doing the charts. I was like, dude, you got to focus on the charts, man. So we're taking the charts very seriously here, the Sniper Club, and man, it's just nothing but alpha. So.
Yeah, so guys, take advantage of the charts. I mean, David obviously now is dropping his own charts in there as well. He's dropping his own setups and all these things. It's all happening. I mean, you guys know Bruce. You see him here so much. You've seen Chaos here also a million times. And David is one of our secret weapons there. And he's given some absolute banger calls in the last couple of days. And he's also the man behind the music you hear playing at the moment. This is mixed by Dave. So if you want more music, you got to tell him. If you want different music, you got to tell him what you guys like. Thomas says dump loading. So maybe we're going to get rinsed out here. So let's carry on talking. Let's look at a couple of your setups quickly here, Dave. What are you working on at the moment?
Yeah, one that can you guys see my screen there?
Pulling it up. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, one that I just entered right now. Like for me, I think this could be a little flush out, but I love where Blur's at right now. We've got a lot of confluence. We have this trend line, a lot of touches on the trend line, and then we have this 50-day moving average. And it was holding last night, and I saw this big pump, 6.5% pump, and now we're kind of coming back into this. So I'm paying attention. I started a position right now. Usually in situations like this, you want to try to catch a good entry. If we start to lose this trend and we start to lose this 50-day moving average, then this trade idea will be invalidated. But you could pretty much set a really tight stop loss for this particular trade setup. Maybe even right here at 6404, where these little wicks are from the 23rd of February here. if you guys can see that, but just a lot of support here, I think. And what's great about this potential entry is that we're kind of catching the move before the break of trend, right? Because it's nice to see a trade that breaks a trend and then we grab a retest, but it's a lot nicer if you can get in before that actually happens. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
How wide is the stop at the moment? What is the plan here? Can we buy these dips into the zone?
I think so. I mean, I added some here. You know, I think with where Bitcoin's at, little nice rejection on the Keltner channel, coming back to the bottom of the Keltner channel. And I think they're just trying to get people out of their leverage positions here. But
yeah, look, a little flush out here, a little stop collection. We can see, I mean, you can see where the guys have their stops, and they want to come and just flush. So remember, guys, if possible, try and look for these candle closes. It's not always possible, and sometimes safer just to cut if you're not feeling right about it. But if you can, one or two, look for a candle close before, because often they just send you down, grab these stops, and then they send it right back up. So let's keep our eyes on that. And I mean, Dave, I think it was a fair call, a rejection at all-time highs. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we had a rejection on ETF day, we knew that, but then it came screaming back. So let's see how this goes. Let's see how this current move goes. Let's talk Say quickly, because we've got a lot of questions here. Sham says Say just touched me, but yeah, so Say, there's a couple of things we're looking at. One of them is telling us that there's a potential bounce, and the other one is telling us we're below monthly pivots. So if there is a bounce, it's potentially a short.
Yeah, no, I see. You know, I'm watching the same situation here. 50-day moving average, this trend. For this long here, you know, so if we can hold and kind of, it looks like we're kind of losing the trend a little bit, which could be a fake out, but you know, if we can come back inside, this looks like a very good long. However, if we lose this trend, I already have this potential short set up here. So if we come down, geez, all kinds of alerts going off. Yeah, so if we come down here and then retest, I think this would be a good short setup if we are to turn here, right? So
married with backpacks, we're fucked. Sell everything. Guys, let's not panic. Okay, we're gonna look at these levels here. If the market's melting down, we're gonna look at these levels. Don't stress about it. We're gonna see where we are. Okay, so yeah, so let me just bring up my Say chart. I just want to show you what it's telling me at the moment. Let's just pull it. Let's just find it. Okay, so here's the current Say situation. Now, the reason it's interesting to me on multiple levels, and it doesn't mean it's going to exactly bounce here, but there are various things telling me that we could get some kind of bounce. So number one, we've got the 8-hour, the 12-hour, and the daily stochastic that have reset themselves. So that is interesting. Number two, I use 𝗪𝗪𝗪 a lot to tell me stories, and we're in a current short print at the moment on Say. Okay, so we know they printed that short, and what they've done here is they've given us this first X. Okay, so it's starting to look like they're considering reversing this thing. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to be here. We can see there's a cloud floating around a little bit lower down, so they might actually want to take us to a 786. So let's just add the 786 quickly. So there's our 786, where we could potentially get our next X print that we want to keep our eyes on. But what we do know from the current price action and what 𝗪𝗪𝗪 is telling us, we are getting near to a potential reversal at some point. So if you've been in Say and you're sweating out, this is what you want to be watching at the moment. So it's the current zone right now, 74.58, and then a little bit lower down, 6756. And exactly what Dave is telling you, if we've lost this trend, then things often start turning a little bit more bearish. And how do we deal with that? Well, we often get a bearish situation. So exactly what Dave is saying there, if we do get that bounce, let's say we get the bounce at the 786, then we start looking at potential shorts to then send it lower down. We start selling any of these pumps. So let's look out for that type of scenario. Hopefully they're not going to kill us, though. I don't think they should kill us. They should be kind. They should be gentle.
They should.
Okay, let's look at a couple of others, and then we're going to look at some of Dave's calls as well. And I've got some AI tokens for you guys. So here's Phantom. Just a recap on Phantom. We called this one. When did we call Phantom? Yesterday, day before. But it's had a nice little retest.
Yeah, Friday. You started talking about it on Friday, and we caught that move on the Sunday session too.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. So we've had a nice little retest. So phantom traders, things are still looking good here for us. We've had a retest today. We've had a strong bounce, and I quite like the look of the current situation. So no reason to panic here. Support zones that you want to watch for phantom right now, 0.6134. Okay, that's still a hot zone for you. And your next support area you're watching for phantom, which is another buy area for me, 0.53. So these are hot zones. This is phantom on the weekly. Remember, the plan here is a potentially big move here. We were looking at a 60 to 70% play on phantom. So just watch your key supports, and nothing wrong with a pullback after a big green candle. If you get a big move like that, nothing wrong with the market to come back and just test a 382 or test a 618. If it's going to stay bullish, it's more than likely going to bounce on one of those regions. If we're losing, what does James say? Everyone panic. If we lose these levels, then obviously things turn a bit dark and deadly. So let's watch what's going on. And married with backpack says, no reason to panic. Stay calm. You know that meme with a fire burning in the back. Let's see. Lashy says, you're losing everything on SHIB at the moment. I think the guys were exiting the dogs. I mean, I sold my dogs a couple of days ago. So I think that ride was potentially slowing down. Let's look at Sol. Oh, look at that little fake out on Sol. I was so excited for Sol. I almost opened the show with Sol. Let's just look at this at the moment. So Sol, we were looking at this little flag. This is Sol on the 8 hour. We're looking at this little bull flag, and they gave us this pump this afternoon. Let's see if this is going to hold now. Right now we can call this a typical break and retest. So we don't want to call it a fake out yet until we've started losing this lower region of the flag. So when we lose that level on the flag, then we can say it was a fake out. But right now, let's keep our eyes on Sol here. Let's watch it. 133. And there was an interesting news article that I wanted to show you guys. So FTX placed a sell wall for Sol at 140. Okay, so let's just see where they sold it. Okay, as it pinged 140, they started selling. Okay, so there's your gazillion dollars of Sol getting sold, and until that sell wall has been taken away or eradicated, then there's going to be pressure on Solana. So keep your eyes on this region here, 140. Okay, let them send it back up. Let's see the type of rejection we get again. But we know when that sell wall's taken down, there's no reason to think Sol's not going to 160 to 170 region as the first stop. So I'm holding my Sol position in that prime XBT that I've got, and my target here is 160 to 170 is still in play for us. Earth Angel says, stop the bleeding. I'm trying to. So we blow on some of these fibs. Maybe if we pull extra fibs, we can hold the entire market up for you. But let's see what we can do. So right now, Sol, you can see it's retesting this trend break on the flag. So it was a little bull flag for us. We're now testing horizontal. We're testing the trend as well. So let's see how that plays out. Watch this area. And then your key level for Sol. If things really start getting bad here, you need to watch 122. Keep your eyes on that. You need to watch 118. These are all potential bullish zones here. These are all potential buy zones that you can watch for Sol. So always just keep an eye on your big levels, your big areas. And remember, red candles is the opportunity. Okay, if you're buying red candles, you're generally getting better entries than the guys buying the green candles when everything is pumping. So ideally, if the market has fallen over, this is where you want to be tomorrow. You want to be talking to me tomorrow. You come watch me tomorrow, because we're going to be looking at all of these levels, and we're going to be looking for some of these entries here. Abdullah says things are bad. Let's see. Everyone chill. Okay, let's see render, because this was interesting. Okay, this is hot. So render is now sitting at this range low. Okay, so I wanted to talk some AI tokens with you guys, and render was interesting. So range low, we've been watching this one for a couple of days, and render is in a clear range at the moment. So the current play is shorts at the top of the range, longs at the lows of the range, okay, until the range is broken. So we know you can trade a range, you can trade a trend until it breaks. Okay, at some point these things always break. So this could be your range low opportunity right now for render. If the market is going to get dirty on us, then we're going lower. So let's just try and identify some potential backup levels for render if we do lose this area. Okay, so what you can do is you want to look for fib tie-ins, you want to look for horizontals, you want to see where these things marry each other, where do they tie in, and things like that. And you want to see where you get some kind of link between the two. So here's a little area right now. It's a 382 that Render seems to be responding on at the moment. So I've pulled a fib from that low at 4.27. That was on Wednesday the 7th, just to have a look. And you can see we've got a little reaction so far on this 382 fib. So eyes on that fib at the moment. Let's just highlight that for you. Okay, so if we start losing this 382 fib, we start looking at our next levels. What are our next areas of interest? And generally, you're going to start focusing on a 618. So that is generally going to be your next area. So if we don't bounce here for Render, 6.9, if this area doesn't hold and we start losing this 382, just sit back, be patient, and try and see where we're going to land at around about 5.8. That is going to be potentially your next area. So if we drift lower, you'll see something along these lines, and then I'll come and send it down. And you're looking at about 5.8 as your next bullish buy zone for Render. And, you know, these AI tokens have done well, and they can't permanently go up. And at some point, you need a bigger type of retrace. And if you get that, again, it's just a buy opportunity for you if you have a bullish bias on the market. So these are key levels you want to watch. And Anthony, sweaty day. Mark says he loves these opportunities. Remember, the best opportunities, guys, are when the market is melting down. So everything is cool. Okay. Ivan says even the stream is down like the market. Matt says FTM's holding well and leveraged his house. Well, I don't know about that, bro. You know, crypto things. If you leverage your house to buy some whiff, then it's on you. You know, then it's on you. Okay, let's see. Cyber Sensei says they're loving the dump. Okay, cool. So let's look at the next one. So here's Tao. Ah, look at this. Okay. Okay, so Tao, massive rejection. How's this thing? So
it's on a rip always.
So here's this long. Okay, so we gave this long. It must have been on the show or something, because there was a long setup here for Tower. Maybe it was on the Sniper Club Zoom session or whatever it was. But we had Tower at the time drifting into this trend in 618. So that was a nice little juicy entry, and it gave a nice little move there. But it's banged all-time highs again, and it's banged the 618 fib. So earlier I was talking about tracking all-time highs and things like that for BTC and how you do it. You pull the 1618 fib, you pull the 2618 fib, and those type of things, and it's applicable to all of these tokens, all of these AI, and I mean all of these altcoins. And look at that rejection on the 2618 for Tower. So, you know, expected another rejection there for Tower. But what do you do now? Are you looking for areas of support? Well, the first thing you need to watch is your horizontal. Okay, so keep your eyes on this area here, because this is going to tie in with the trend. Okay, so we're looking for some kind of support here in the horizontal and trend, and then it's a very simple play for Tower. You've got your trend line. David always says it so nicely. He says if you lose your trend,
get out,
get the fuck out.
Pretty much.
But so the bulls are looking for a bounce here off the trend and horizontals. The bears are going to say, well, we're going to lose the trend. Okay, we're going to get a bounce, most likely around about that 618, and that's going to give the bears a short opportunity for Tower. So keep your eyes on this type of situation right now. Bulls, your entry is moving into play shortly, so watch that for now. It's shown a lot of strength today, so it could possibly hold. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I've got another one for you guys. So these are one of our partners, AigentX. It's a smaller cap AI token. Okay, it's about a 60 million market cap. Here they are on coin market cap, 68 million market cap right now. And I've been playing around with their bot, and we spoke about this briefly. I think 2 weeks ago I had 𝗪𝗘𝗪𝗧 on my show, and he was talking about this as one of his gems. And you know, if AI is going to pump, this is something you want to keep your eyes on. And I played with a bot. Okay, so they've got a bot that gives you technical analysis. Okay, AigentX trading, and they give you a bot that tells you a little bit about coins and tokens and all these types of things. And I tested it. I've been playing around with it. I've just put this in my Twitter because I didn't want to open my Telegram for the whole world. And I first said, give me ICP. I said, give me technical analysis on ICP, and they give you a whole lot of information on it. Look at this. They gave us resistance, they gave us support, and they gave us a little bit of write-up of it there. And you just type in your token and it gives you the information you want. I mean, there's a nice little conclusion here. They're saying overall the market sentiment for ICP appears to be bullish. So a nice little bot that they've got going on there. And then I wanted to find out more about optimism, and I typed into their other bot. I said, tell me about optimism. I want to find out more. And here it is. They gave me a nice little breakdown as to what's going on with optimism. And yeah, nice little functioning project. And I took a look at the chart, also looking okay. Let's just pull that up. There it is. So the chart's looking all right. So it's not on any centralized exchanges yet. You got to get this thing on things like Uniswap and those type of things. But an area of support that you can watch right now, 0.6305. So it seems to be holding this region quite nicely. So I'd keep my eyes on this as support. Now remember, it's a 60 to 70 million market cap, so it's a smaller guy, and could get some momentum for you. So eyes on this 382 as support. If we lose that 382, you more than likely got a situation where we've got the 50-day MA pushing up into the 618. So your next potential zone of interest here for DCA buyers and things like that, 0.45. So that is where you want to be, 0.45, or you're looking at roughly a 0.65. Both of these look like decent areas here for us if you are looking for some longs there. I'm just looking at my list here on the right. It's turned blood red, Dave. Look at this.
I know, but it's looking like a good bounce right now.
Okay, tell us we're bouncing.
We are. No, I mean, there's some ones that I'm looking at.
Okay, let's take a look. Are we getting absolutely shit-faced here? Here they go. Okay, so I would have been stopped out now of my Lido, but this is what I was trying to tell you guys. Look out for candle closes, okay? Look what they've done here. Okay, this is a classic example here. Often, they send the candle down, okay, and then they pump it right back up. Okay, look at that now. And you know, these are opportunities. If you lose an area, for example, you often get a bounce. Okay, that gives you an opportunity, number one, exit, or number two, stay in the position, because this might now push back into the entry box. So eyes on Lido. It might take a second bite at the moment. Again, if a trade fails, remember there's multiple trades. Sometimes you got to kiss a few frogs before you get the winner. So it's just part of the game. If you want to be a trader, you got to understand that you're going to lose some days. Some days you're going to win, some days you're going to lose, and some days you're going to get stopped out. I mean, if anyone knows it, David knows it as well. So, but hang with us. Okay? They can hang with us. We'll teach them. Yes. You know, Dave and I do a session on Sundays. What did we call there? We called a couple of things on Sunday. Whiff, short.
The Sunday whiff short session.
Okay, so guys, I mean, this is such a key lesson. Now I'm going to get, I'm so upset now. I'm being stopped out of this Lido. Okay, so here we go. It's pushing back into the entry box. We'll keep our eyes on this one. What you want to watch as traders now. Okay, we know we've had a nice bounce here. Look at this. This is the daily pivot, a super tight daily pivot. The red one is the monthly pivot. Okay, so we understand that this is a support region for us. We understand that this is a zone of support. Yeah, keep your eyes on that. Let's see if it bounces. We'll keep monitoring as we go. Let's talk with. So with traders, okay. I know there's a mix of traders here now. They launched Binance Perps today, and what we've seen in the past with some other tokens is when they list Binance Perps, they tend to dip, they tend to fall over, and the reason being, you know, they end up selling the news. So by the time you get the listing, it's all priced in, and these things tend to fall over. So sometimes you can just short the listing of Binance Perps. So just remember that, put that in your memory bank. And by the time a token gets to Binance Perps, because they're one of the biggest exchanges, everyone assumes that it's just going to absolutely pump. And by the time it gets there, they've priced in that move. So here we are at the moment. Here's WIF and typical 382 bounce at the moment. Okay, so it's hanging around here. I'm sitting in a short. My targets were the 382 as the TP. Okay, this was number one, and the second target was the 618. We need to see now how greedy we are. How greedy are you, Dave? Are you staying in?
I mean, I shaved a little bit of profits on that little flush out, but I still have half opened. I want to. I think 1.22 might have its bounce there. There's a trend line and horizontal there.
we've got this this horizontal here. Is that what you're talking about? This guy?
Yeah, around 122, because I've got a bottom trend line on my chart. But yeah, exactly, right around there.
Okay, somewhere in that area. Okay, so let's keep our eyes on that. So are you staying in your short?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've shorted it 3 times since Sunday. It's a good one.
Shorted it 3 times. Okay, well, look, I mean, everyone was trying to short whiff, and they were getting rinsed out and rinsed out and rinsed out. But yeah, here's a tip, guys. Listing on Binance Perps, a lot of the time, these things fall over on the listing day. Okay, so there's a tip for you guys if you want to play the short game. Okay, let's see what else is happening here in the chats. Let's do a quick market update here. Danish says we're pumping again. Right, as you were, everybody. Back to business. Okay, look at this. So here's BTC. Okay, what did it do? It's hit our first zone. Okay, so we're getting our reaction again on our 236. So this is what we were looking for. Okay, and this is our bounce area. And those of you that aren't using fibs in your life, I strongly suggest get it into your life. You know, just put them on your chart. You can see they're magical. And here's our first reaction. And these fibs, they give us reaction areas. They don't promise us the world. They just tell us this is where you're going to get a reaction. They don't make any commitments, anything like that. They just say these are the zones that we're going to get action from, and more often than not, you get a result in these areas. So BTC traders, watch this level now, 64,500. Keep your eyes on this as support. And right now, if this bounces, we're just going to turn around tomorrow and say typical 236 bullish bounce, all-time highs by tomorrow. Otherwise, we're watching a little bit lower down. Okay, so 64,500, 62, call it 62,100, and this 57.8. I don't know. I can't deal with that. Mentally, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that.
Not yet.
Let's see. Okay, let's what am I missing? Oh, ICP. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, this is brilliant. Okay, so here's ICP, and I'm a little bit late now, so I'm trading ICP in 2-bit, and this is an opportunity to add to my position here. So I'm going to tell you the story shortly, but I just want to add a little bit to my position in 2-bit. Okay, so for those of you that are interested in this exchange as well, we've got WEEX and 2-bit that we're trading on at the moment. There is a link in the description. Again, there's all sorts of offers and specials if you use the link in the description. And both of these exchanges are both KYC friendly. So if that is your thing, you can try either of them and take advantage of all their offers and things that they're doing at the moment. Here is ICP. I just want to tell you guys the story. I called this one on the show on Friday. Okay, we were using easy algo. So this was a pure easy algo setup for ICP. Why did we like it? Well, at the time, it was sitting above the monthly pivot. So we had our monthly pivot, we had our weekly pivot, and it was looking good. It was above the 50-day moving average. And there were multiple reasons why we were expecting ICP to bounce in this area. And, you know, it hovered around for a couple of days. It managed that flush out, and it held the monthly pivot and the 50-day MA, and then it absolutely ripped. And often when we get a pump like this, you get your pullbacks, you get your opportunities to add to your positions and things like that. So this is why Dave and I spend so much time, you know, trying to grab these entries and snipe these entries at these lows and these bottoms, because it puts us in a position of strength on some of these tokens. Because now this thing is pumped, and I'm in a risk-free situation now on ICP because I'm ahead of the curve here. So now we've broken the trend, and yeah, looking to rebuy and both of these areas. So these would have been rebuy zones for me, 236 and the 382. Okay, you can see why it's a typical trend break and retest. Okay, so that's why I've now added to this ICP. My entry is roundabout now. Let's just see what this entry is. My average entry is 13.7. Okay, so I'm a little bit ahead of the game here. Okay, a little bit ahead of the curve here, 13.7. So if they want to come and stop me out, that means the candle's most likely, or it has lost the current low. So that's the area now I've got to keep my eyes on, this 13.7. But if it bounces from here, then, you know, I've been in pretty much a risk-free trade. And that's why so much emphasis on these entries in these low areas. If you can nibble on these areas and then you get the move, you can always then add to your position. As long as your bias is obviously bullish, you know, if you believe the market is going to be ticking up, over the next few months, then you want to buy these dips and try and grow some of your positions. Bosol says, "Ooh, always buy the dip." Ben says, "When's WIF getting listed on Binance?" It happened today. Okay, let's see. Somebody said Say is bouncing. I've missed that one. Let's see. Okay, so Sol's given us a bounce. Okay, Say's giving us a bounce in our area. Okay, so here's our bounce zone again for Say. Now remember what Dave was saying. There's a potential short in play here on any bounces as well. And if we use easy algo, you can see why. Okay, the weekly pivot is above us. The monthly pivot is above us. Okay, so what does that tell us? It tells us there's resistance in this area over here. So if we do get a bounce in our hot zone, so this is, me and Dave love these zones, 50-day MA, fibs, all these things. If we get a bounce, we know there's resistance ahead of us on the monthly pivot. So look out at 0.81 as a potential rejection zone and things like that. But yeah, so far so good. And let's just check everybody's levels here. Let's make sure everyone is alive. Is everybody alive? Do you still have a pulse? Is everyone okay? Dave, were you sweating there?
Not really. I mean, there's definitely some opportunities when stuff like this happens. So you guys should always be trying to identify the next setups, next entry levels, reaction areas. Like one that I was watching the whole time was Lever, and it literally wicked into the 618 during that flush out and already had a 5% bounce.
Yeah. Do you want let's see this lever. Where's this lever? Show us quickly.
Yeah, no, I've been looking at this because we have a higher time frame. I'll just kind of zoom out here, right? But we have this top trend line here, and it was poking its head out. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to it, but there was like a 26% pump. And typically when this happens, there's a retest. And so I have this little green support box, and I drew, so kind of zooming in now, I drew a fib from this low to this high and was really looking for a 618 reaction. And that's exactly what just happened right now. It came to the very bottom of this green box. It wicked into the 618, and it's a nice little bounce here. So 5.5% bounce. What I'm looking for Lever is a higher time frame move, because whenever you have situations where it's breaking this trend line, it's probably going to get sent, essentially. So, for me, I like looking for big, high risk, high reward returns, and up to this level here is a 47% move. So, I think starting a small position here is okay, like maybe 3x leverage. If we get a visit down here, I think it's an opportunity for buying, because essentially I'm looking for it to come back up here and then hold support on the top of this trend line and then get sent.
But yeah, just another beautiful example of a reaction zone, hitting the area. I mean, reacting off a 618, tied in with some other horizontals and things like that. Just love it. AIX says Sui is kicking some ass right now. Guys, I mean, this is the best. I mean, this is life of a trader here. It's like a little bit of up, a little bit of down. Here's render bouncing. And as soon as you guys realize there's a lot of new faces here, because BTC's all-time highs now, we got there's a whole lot of new traders, there's a whole lot of new viewers to the show, and you're looking at this saying, what the fuck are these guys doing, these charts and all these things. But listen, we've spent enough time watching these charts. We understand where we get reactions, we understand how these things move, we understand these altcoins. I haven't not looked at a chart on a day for probably 7 years. Like, I just fucking understand these things. So, we know these reaction points, we know these areas, and come hang with us, okay? If you're learning how to trade, if you want to be a trader, even in a bull market, you want to make some money and things like that, watch my show, okay? Watch Sheldon's show. Try and figure out what we're doing. And the quickest way to learn, Sniper School, number one, they'll teach you how to chart. And number two, once you know how to read a chart and you can work trading view and things, hang out with us in the Sniper Club. We do live Zoom sessions. We do 6 a week. We post all our charts. We post all our setups. There's money-making opportunities in there. There's airdrop opportunities. There's psychology opportunities in there. I mean, I had somebody asking me today saying, it's the bull market and I keep losing money and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And, you know, the questions you're asking, are you over trading? Are you trading too much? Are your positions too big? Are you feeling uncomfortable when you open a position that you keep checking in case you're losing money? Are you panic selling too early? Are you waiting for candles to close? Are you panic selling are you panic selling when you up as well by, you know, a few percent? Are you not letting them ride? You got to ask yourself all of these questions and just be true to yourself. Like, how are you managing your trades? How are you managing the process? Because it's very easy to lose money in the bull market, and you actually need a community and you need a group to help you, you know, through these things. And we've created the Sniper Club for this exact reason. And so come and join, come and hang out with us, test it out, see what it's like. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this for days, but David and I do our own private session on a Sunday, closed Sunday night sessions that we do. And we focus on leverage trade setups. And sometimes we get rinsed and sometimes we kill it. And the most important thing is you're going to learn how we go about it and how we do it and why we do things. So Nancy says, David's charts are always fuzzy for me. Okay, well, we need to figure that one. We'll need to figure that out.
Really?
Married with Backpack says, Sniper Clubs keeps me sane. Idrissa says, this is my new show. Guys, come hang with us. Okay, when we lose, we lose. When we win, we win. Okay, no one's bullshitting anybody here. Okay, these are actual trading things going down, and we take some blows and we take the wins, and we have a good time doing it. I mean, you can hear we're playing beats in the back as well. So that's it. We got to wrap this up, bro. It's been an hour.
I got a session here that's starting in 20 minutes in the Sniper Club. So for those of you guys that are in, hey, I'll be going through a bunch of charts and setups here. And yeah, man, I had so much more to show you guys here today, but I'll just save it for the club.
Catch him in the Sniper Club. He's going live now for all the Sniper Club members. Guys, you know some of these levels I've given you today. If you want more levels, get in the Sniper Club. You'll see them there. Catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it's green. See you guys later.